with Kelley.
Hello, thank you, Ethan Hyatt. Hello, and welcome to my TV show on the YouTube network with a potential audience of over 2 billion people.
That's right. 2 billion people.
Coming to you live from the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, where I am peacefully protesting and advocating for the homeless here in Santa Monica, and in Los Angeles County, and in California, and the whole US of A. The whole wide world, if we could do something about it. But we have to start somewhere, so we might as well start right where we are, right here in Santa Monica, California. That's right, we need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica, California. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day for everybody. Keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for us all. That's why we need to stand up and tell our leaders here in Santa Monica, hey, it's one thing to not build affordable housing. Hey, it's one thing to just be kind to the rich people. But when you start arresting poor people for being poor and homeless, we need to speak up. That's right. We need to tell our leaders, you can't arrest people for being poor and homeless. You have to stop that. Are you taking off, Ethan Hyatt? Well, good to see you. Thank you for introducing me. You have a great night. I will see you on Friday. So we need to stand up. We need to keep speaking out for the rights of human beings to be able to thrive and survive, even though they're poor. That's right. We need to stand up for the rights of poor people not to be arrested for being poor and homeless. We have way too many poor people in Santa Monica being arrested. You know, this last year, 72% of all of the arrests in Santa Monica were of homeless human beings. That's right. Out of all of the people arrested in Santa Monica, 72% were homeless human beings, less than 1% of the population. That is a shame, Santa Monica. You got to change things. You got to make things better for poor people. They find all sorts of reasons to arrest these poor people. They'll justify anything. I'm sorry, but if you're arresting somebody for warming up in an empty parking structure over here, my friend was arrested for sitting in an empty parking structure. They took him to jail. They processed him. They let him go, but they forgot to give him his wallet and his phone. I think he had to get a new phone after that. They said his stuff was with garbage that they had collected with him. And so they got rid of that. Anyway, he got out. He was able to get a new wallet, a new ID. And then he was given a ticket again for being in that location. And then last night, he was arrested for just sitting on the wall over here near the Wells Fargo Bank, where he sits and smokes cigarettes and drinks coffee. That's pretty much what he does. Nice guy, Keith. He got another hat. He was arrested again last night here in Santa Monica because he didn't show up for his arrest for being in the parking structure. He didn't show up for the warrant for the court date. So they had a warrant out for his arrest. So once these people get arrested, these poor people, it just keeps adding up on them, you know, and they don't know how to deal with it. Some of the people, most of the people, they don't have any lawyers that they can turn to and say, here, help me with this, please. They're not connected. So they end up getting deeper and deeper in trouble here because they were homeless. because they were poor. And it's a shame, Santa Monica. I was talking with one young man today. He said he was sleeping on a park bench over here at the park, Palisade Park. And the police came and they took him and they put him in the Samo Bridge program. And they ended up shipping him to some shelter, a rough shelter down in South Central, because Santa Monica just wants to push the poor people out of Santa Monica. Anyway, he was there for 2 weeks, and he's trying to get his performer's permit so he can play on the promenade. But it's not easy for him because he doesn't have a place to live. And if you're going to be arrested and taken into custody for sleeping, that's a sad situation. We need to make it easier for these homeless people to have a safe place to sleep while we're in this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis. Just a safe place. We could cordon off some area of land here in Santa Monica, some parking lot, or make sure that we can use the parking structures at night for having homeless people have a decent place to sleep. We could do it. They have had programs like that before here in Santa Monica, and they discontinue them because they want to pick on the poor people. They don't want any poor people here in Santa Monica. They only want rich people, and that's why they are arresting more and more of the homeless population and making it harder for them to survive, and still not building affordable housing. We still have we have pickleball courts over here on 4th Street, where they have been talking about building affordable housing units, 122 affordable housing complex. They've been talking about that since 2018. They have pickleball courts there today because all of the neighbors here, all of the business owners here on this promenade, they said, we can't have any poor people living right next to our businesses. It's bad for business. And they sued the city of Santa Monica. So even those who want to work towards lifting people out of poverty and standing up for them, they have to go against way too many groups. Every time they want to build affordable housing, they have neighborhood groups come up and say, oh, we can't have them live in our neighborhood because our children are allergic to the poor people, because poor people are all crazy. That's what they say. They say they're all drug addicts. Well, we need to stand up for the rights of these people who are going through this hard time and make it easier for them to have a decent place to live. We need to have some safe spaces. We need to make sure we have 24-hour secure restrooms here in Santa Monica, because we don't have any. They arrest people for public urination and public defecation, but they don't have 24-hour secure public restrooms here in Santa Monica. They'd rather pick on the poor people than give them the services they need. And that's why we need to get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative to make sure that we use 44 acres of that airport property when it is given to the city to build 3,000 units of affordable housing. That's a step in the right direction. But we need to stop criminalizing poverty and homelessness now. We need to tell our leaders. How you doing tonight? Yeah, doing good. How are you? Thank you, peace. Any story? Thank you, peace. I will. I'll keep trying to speak out. I went to the Santa Monica City Council meeting last night. I told them that we need to work towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all, and that over 30% of the homeless population are Black Americans. That's right. They're less than 5% of the population of Santa Monica, but over 30% of the homeless population. And 72% of all the arrests last year were of homeless human beings here in Santa Monica. Did you know that? 72% of all the arrests last year were of homeless human beings. And we need to stand up against that, because that's less than 1% of the population being arrested 72% of the time. That's targeting, that's cruel and inhumane. We need to speak out against such things. We need to have a safe place for the people that are unhoused, homeless. We need to have a safe place for them to go at night without being harassed for trying to sleep. That's right. We need to tell our leaders here in Santa Monica, stop criminalizing poverty and homelessness, and let's work towards building affordable housing and have a safe place for these people. Because right now we still have pickleball courts over there on 4th Street, where we're supposed to have a 122 affordable housing unit complex, and we have pickleball courts. Pickleball for the poor, because homeless people don't need a front door, they need pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Pickleball for the poor. Poor folks don't need no more than pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Oh, we're not going to let them play, but they can watch from far away and dream about that happy day when they can earn enough to pay to play pickleball. That's right. Some people think it's more important to have a place to play pickleball than it is to stand up for human rights. That's right. Some people think it's more important to stand up for the business owners here in Santa Monica than it is for human rights. We need to speak out for the rights of human beings to exist during this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis. That's right. I went to that Santa Monica City Council meeting last night. I said, who here endorses the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative? Give me jazz hands if you do, because they don't like people to applaud in the city council chamber because it makes too much noise. So they say use jazz hands if you agree with something. So I said, who here endorses the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative? And I said, jazz hands. And not one of those city council members, they all are against building any affordable housing on the Great Park. They just want 192 acres of Great Park, and they don't care about the poor people being arrested for being homeless and poor. They don't care that 1% of the firefighters in Santa Monica can live in Santa Monica. They don't care that we have so many people working in Santa Monica that can't afford to live in Santa Monica and have to travel from different destinations all around the Southern California. Some of them driving 1 or 2 hours to get to work here. That adds to pollution. That you would think all these environmentalists, instead of just wanting a great park, would want more people to be able to live near their work, near the place that they work, so that they don't have to travel so much and create pollution. We need to make it easier for people to survive here in Santa Monica. You know, the climate scientists say that it's going to continue to get hotter and hotter here in California and around the world in many places. And so we are going to need to build more affordable housing near our beaches, near our Pacific Ocean, because the air quality is going to be better and it is going to be a more temperate climate for people. So if you're really an environmentalist, then you want to make the environment better for human beings to survive. We can't just worry about the speckled-throated racebird. I don't know if that's actually a species. I don't know if that's the right term. Yeah, I had a rescue dog there last night at the Santa Monica City Council meeting. They brought out a rescue dog and they said, this dog needs to be adopted. We need to have people adopt this dog. I wonder if they could take a homeless person to the city council meeting and say, this person needs housing. This person needs some permanent, secure, safe housing. Can we get it for them? Who wants to help? People are more concerned about their pets and their robots and things that they can control than they are about human beings. We need to stand up for human rights, even for the rights of those people that have mental disabilities. You know, they have the same rights as you and me. I heard the governor's debate. I watched that later last night. California governor's debate. And with the exception of Katie Porter, they all said, yes, if you offer services to a homeless person and they don't accept, you should be able to put them in jail. That's what they all said last night at that governor's debate. If a person with mental disabilities won't accept help, you have to take them into custody. That's what they said. That's partly due to Newsom's care court, where they can hold people with mental disabilities for 72 hours or up to 2 years in some sort of institution if they find that those people need help, whether the people want help or not, even if they're not a threat to themselves or to others. If they don't show that they're a threat to themselves or to others, if they're just acting weird, you can take them into custody. And that goes against the Americans with Disabilities Act. You know, the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed in 1990, and that stands up for the rights of disabled human beings, whether they are physically disabled or mentally disabled. They have rights, and we need to stand up for those rights. Sure, we need to make sure that people get the help that they need. That's good health care. Make sure the health care is out there in the streets helping people. Make sure we get more health professionals out into the streets instead of arresting people for being mentally disabled, even if they're not a threat to themselves or to others. We got to stand up for human rights. We can't continue to let these cities and state agencies arrest people for being poor and homeless. We have way too many of our leaders blaming the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless, instead of finding them a decent place to live, finding them a place to live where they can have a little autonomy, where they can, where they can smoke their cigarettes and drink their coffee without being harassed. You know, they use anti-smoking laws here in Santa Monica, but only to harass the poor and the homeless. You never see a rich person with a cigar getting a citation here in Santa Monica for smoking. They'll tell them, listen, you got to smoke somewhere else. You got to go down there. But they give people citations and arrest people for smoking on the streets here in Santa Monica if they're poor and homeless. That's the sad truth here in Santa Monica. That's why we need to stand up and tell our leaders, you have to do a better job of standing up for human rights, because you brought on this housing crisis by not building enough affordable housing for generations and changing the zoning so we can't have rooming houses and now after Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling by the Supreme Court, everybody's just arresting the homeless people. That's their answer to ending homelessness. And that's a sad situation. Too many of our leaders are saying, don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. They'll pull the chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. They'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. They say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. That's right. We just got too many people in this country saying, just get rich. Just get rich. We've got this, we have this betting problem. This phone betting problem in this country. We got people making bets on predictions about what's going to happen in government, who are involved in government. We had a military person arrested because he bet $30,000 that Maduro would be captured. And he was in on capturing Maduro, so he made $400,000 off of this bet. And now he's being arrested. We've got young athletes all around the country and old athletes all making money off of betting, and we're promoting getting rich. Getting rich is the only thing that's important in this country. That comes down from the top. That's what the President of the United States says. It's all about making the money. That's why he has a gold card visa that he's trying to sell. That's right. $5 million will get you a gold card visa so you can become a citizen in this country. Jump right ahead of all the other people. If you got $5 million, we'll get you in. It doesn't matter if you've been here for a day or two. You can have a gold card visa if you got $5 million. That's what's important to this president. Just making money. And that's the way we've sent that message to all of our young people, and that's why if you're poor and homeless, you shouldn't have any rights. That's what a lot of people say. You made your own bed. If you're poor and homeless, it's your own fault. That's what way too many people are saying in this country and right here in Santa Monica. They make it harder for homeless people to survive and poor people to survive, and then they blame them for being the problem. They say, don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. We'll pull the chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. We'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. We'll say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless, that's what they say. Don't be poor and homeless, just be rich. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't live in your car. They'll find a way to ticket you no matter where you are. They'll say you're near a schoolyard or near a city park. They'll make you move your car all day and give you tickets while you're sleeping in the dark. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live on a yacht. Gotta get a yacht. Gotta get a yacht. Sleep on the yacht. You can sleep on your yacht, many places. How the rich folks want to help you if they could. So they'll take your tent and your bags and stuff and move them to another neighborhood a little farther down the road would be good. That's how they used to do it. But now, instead of pushing them just further down the road, what they do is they go around with their dump trucks and their police officers and the sanitation workers and everybody. They say, fit all of your belongings in a 60-gallon bag. Fit everything that you own in a 60-gallon bag. And if you can't fit it in a 60-gallon bag, we're going to throw the rest of it away because you don't need it, because you're poor. You're poor. You don't deserve to have stuff. Only rich people deserve to have stuff. So you have to fit all of your belongings in a 60-gallon bag. Oh, that's sweet. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and sick. They'll put you in the hospital and spit you out real quick. They'll say you need to rest more and change the way you eat. But you ain't got no, but they ain't got no medicine to get you off of the street. So don't be poor and homeless. That's what they say. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live in a mansion. That's what you got to do. You got to get a mansion. Oh, that's great. Mansions are good. How you doing? Good to see you. Faith? Good to see you. Peace. Ernest, are you a Santa Monica voter? A registered Santa Monica voter? No? All right, good to see you. Peace. I have a petition. I have a petition for the Great Parks and Community Housing Initiative right here with me. If you would like to help build 3,000 units of affordable housing on 44 acres of the airport property that will be given to the city, that leaves 148 acres of land for a great park. I'd say that's pretty great park, isn't it? Oh, but there are too many people that say, no, that's not enough. We need to make the whole thing a great park. 192 acres of just recreation for the rich peoples. Push all the poor people down the road and let the rich people have 192 acres of park that we can just enjoy. Oh, life is good if you're rich. But the poor people we're going to criminalize and we're going to put in jail for being poor and homeless. That's what they say. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and sick. They'll put you in the hospital and spit you out real quick. They'll say you need to rest more and change the way you eat. But they ain't got no medicine to get you off of the streets. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live in a mansion. That's what you got to do. All the rich folks want to help you if they can. So they'll start a race to outer space to help their fellow man. We are going to build affordable housing up on Mars. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. They'll pull the chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. They'll tell you that you're crazy, under on the drugs. They say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with all kinds of bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. That's right, homeless people. Just be rich. I have people come up and say, those homeless people just need to get a job. That's what they got to do. Those homeless people need to get a job. Well, there's a lot of homeless people that do have jobs and still can't afford a place to live. That's the problem. We don't have enough affordable housing. That's right. That's why we have so many people that are unhoused, homeless here in Santa Monica and all around California. That's right. We need to build more affordable housing. That's why, are you a Santa Monica voter? Santa Monica registered Santa Monica voter? Okay. Well, it's a nice place to visit, but they ain't gonna let no poor people live here. That's right. They push the poor people down the road. They're criminalizing homelessness and poverty right now. So we need to speak up. And that's why I have this petition. If you are a Santa Monica, a registered Santa Monica voter, I do have a petition for the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative to build 3,000 units of affordable housing on 44 acres of that airport property that will be given to the city in 2028, at the end of 2028.
Why don't you do this on days when there are more people?
Because I'm streaming it right now, and I'm doing that, and I went to the city council meeting last night. On Monday night, I mean, I've been out here doing this for 10 years, and I ran for Santa Monica City Council in 2024. Got a few thousand votes, not near enough, but I didn't spend one penny on the campaign. Any donations I got were given to the homeless people here in Santa Monica. And sometimes there are more people out on a night like this, but not tonight. But anyway, sometimes I like to hear myself speak. And sometimes when there are a lot of people, you can't hear what they're singing or saying. But that's all right. But I will be back out on the street more during the day when I'm running for Santa Monica City Council again. But I'm also on a committee here, the Measure GS Resident Oversight Committee, which meets on Monday here in Santa Monica. It is to manage the GS fund here in Santa Monica, which is supposed to be building affordable housing. But we haven't done anything yet because too many people are fighting against building any affordable housing in Santa Monica. So sometimes I just got to come out and speak out. And I will be collecting more petition signatures on Friday with my petition here. And then I have to turn that in next week. We have to turn in all of those. You have a good night. Peace and love. Enjoy Santa Monica, but speak out for the rights of homeless human beings to be able to survive here without being arrested and harassed. Thank you. Peace. Build affordable housing now. Hey, get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 here in California. If you are a California voter, that's something everybody in California can get behind. You don't have to be a Santa Monica voter to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 is coming to the ballot this fall. That's right. They got enough signatures to put the Billionaire Tax Act on the ballot this fall. That's right. That's a 5% wealth tax on all of the billionaires right here in California. We don't have to wait for Trump to be out of office to raise taxes on the billionaires. So get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Oh, that's a good one. Let's everybody sign. Let's everybody vote yes for the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. And let's tell all of our leaders, everybody running for governor has to say yes. I endorse the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. If they don't endorse the Billionaire Tax Act, you got to say, I can't vote for you. I don't care. I don't care what else you think you're doing good. If you can't get behind that simple Billionaire Tax Act that will tax the billionaires 5%, a 5% wealth tax over 5 years, that's a great thing. We need to do that all over the country, but we can do that right here in California. So let's all get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. That's right. They handed in the signatures. They say they got 1.5 million signatures. We'll see how many. Probably most of them are good, but they only needed 800,000 or 900,000 signatures to get on the ballot. So they're going to be on the ballot in the fall. The Billionaire Tax Act, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. We got to vote yes and tell your leaders, your public servants to endorse it. If they don't endorse it, you don't get our vote. It's just that simple. Our living in California. Did you hear about the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026? Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. It's going to be on the ballot this fall. Our living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California. Sure, I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Living in California. Everything's mostly okay. Living in California. Another beautiful sunshine day. Don't let the Trump get you in a slump. We'll get rid of his hump. We're gonna be all right. We're in the land of surf and sand, movie stars, electric cars, and there's a beautiful Santa Monica night out in California with people of all kinds. Living in California. Sure, I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Living in California. Things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California. Rest of the country's moving in reverse. Let's not follow them now. Let's not criminalize poverty. Let's not criminalize homelessness. That's the wrong direction. We need to be building affordable housing and standing up for human rights. That's right. California, we got some great things going on. We're the second most diverse state in the whole country behind Hawaii. But we got some problems. We got problems. You know, we are, I guess in the governor's debate last night, somebody said we're ranked 30th in spending on public education. I'll take their word for it. We're ranked 30th in spending on public education. That's a shame, California. We're the 4th largest economy in the whole wide world, and we're ranked 30th in spending on public education. Gosh, that is sickening. And we all need to get a little sick about that and say we need to spend a lot more money. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. We gotta move forward. We can't just say, but that's only the poor kids that aren't getting good education. The rich kids are getting a fine education, so we don't have to worry about the poor kids. That's what some people say. Well, if the poor people wanted their kids to have a good education, they would make more money. That's what they say. You know, here in Santa Monica, they're sending a group of young people from Santa Monica High School to the robotics championships here in the United States or the world somewhere. They're sending a bunch of students to the robotics championships because the funding here in Santa Monica is pretty good. We have bonds, even this Measure GS that I'm on the Measure GS Oversight Committee. Half of that Measure GS fund goes automatically to the schools. So for every property sold over $8 million, a 5% tax. How you doing? Good to see you. What? Things are good? All right. Good to see you. Peace. So half of that tax goes automatically to the schools here in Santa Monica. And so they've gotten Oh, they've gotten $50 million so far. No, maybe only 30 million. 3 years, they've gotten $10 million a year, I believe. That's the split. 10 million right off the top. Okay, not half. They don't get half of everything. They get 10 million right off the top, and the rest goes to affordable housing and home and programs to help people stay in the housing that they have. So far, they've raised $30 million with just the Measure GS fund, the 5% tax on every property sold over $8 million. Let's double check that, but I believe that's the case. How's it going, Peace? Are you a Santa Monica, registered Santa Monica voter? Did you sign the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative that is going to build 3,000 units? Thank you, Peace. 3,000 units of housing on 44 acres of that airport property. That would leave 148 acres of land for a great park. I'd say that's a pretty good sized great park. That's right. So we need to stand up for the rights of poor kids to have a good education here in California. We're ranked 30th in spending on public education. We're the 4th largest economy of the whole wide world, and we're ranked 30th in spending on public education. We're ranked around 40th in the outcome of the public education here in California. That's a shame. Oh, but a lot of people say, oh, it's only the poor kids' schools. You know, 40% of the schools in California have 90% of the students of color. Sounds like a little bit of segregation there, doesn't it? It sure is. 90% of the students of color in California are going to 40% of the schools. So you got a little slice of the pie like that where they put all the poor kids, all the people of color. And then the rich kids get to go to the other schools, and you get to get more funding for a lot of those schools. So we need to stand up, California. We need to stand up and tell our leaders to build more affordable housing and make sure. Let's all get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative right here in Santa Monica. Use 44 acres of the airport property to build affordable housing, 3,000 units. We can do it. Anyway, we need to make things better right here in California. I'm living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, sure I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Woo! Living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, the rest of the country's moving in reverse. And we all need to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. We can make things better just by getting behind that Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative will be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all right here in Santa Monica. If you're a Santa Monica voter, please get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. It's coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody should cheer about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on Santa Monica ballot this fall. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative in Santa Monica should get a yes vote from us all. I sure hope it makes it onto the ballot. And if it does, we all need to vote for it. I went there last night, and none of those city council members are for that Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. I was living in California, place the whole world streaming up. Living in California, the land of peace and love. Unless you're poor and you're homeless, then you gotta go to jail. Yeah, I'd like to sing a different tune. You know I would. I'd like to sing a happy tune. But it's got to get happier before I can sing only happy tunes. It's got to get to a place where human beings aren't being arrested for being poor and homeless. We got plenty of beach that we could have some safe spaces for homeless human beings. We could have secure 24-hour restrooms and people who could help connect these homeless people with services that they might need. But instead, we are arresting them and making their lives harder and worse. We can do better, Santa Monica. We don't need to criminalize poverty. We don't need to criminalize homelessness. We need to stand up for human rights. That's right. We need to make sure that everybody can thrive and survive in this richest, most powerful country in the world. Because that's what we're supposed to be doing, is working towards a more perfect union, establishing justice, ensuring domestic tranquility, providing for the common defense, promoting the general welfare, and securing the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. You know, when that Constitution was written, it only benefited rich white guys who owned property. But since the beginning, there have been people making sure that more people are included, that everybody has equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. And we need to keep standing up for the rights of people. We need to keep standing up for the rights of those who are held back by our government and by people taking advantage of the poor and outlawing poverty is basically what they've done. So we need to stand up for their rights, because we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to a place where we have equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. There's a reason that Santa Monica is 70% white. Right next to our public beaches, 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people living next to those public beaches. Because for generations, we have pushed the poor people down the road. And when you push the poor people down the road, you push a lot of people of color down the road. And that works towards segregation. And we want to keep integrating. That's why we need to build affordable housing. That's why we need to tell our leaders to get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative here in Santa Monica to build 3,000 units of affordable housing on the Santa Monica Airport property when it is given to the city at the end of 2028. You say, well, that's not enough to make a big change. Well, I know it isn't, but it's a step in the right direction because Santa Monica has failed to build affordable housing for generations. For generations, they've pushed the poor people down the road. Well, we want to help the poor, but we want to help them somewhere else. That's what they keep saying. They keep trying to make it harder and harder for poor people to survive. And that's why we are arresting people for being poor and homeless now. See the people living in the streets, ain't got no money, ain't much to eat. They're not too proud to take your crust of bread. Just look for some place to lay their weary heads. What's the problem that brought them here? The story's long and it isn't very clear. So many roads lead to the street. Just looking for some place to lay their tired feet. I ain't saying they ain't done wrong. I ain't saying didn't help to bring it on. I'm just saying there must be somewhere they belong, and they're looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. All these homeless people living in a ditch with all these empty buildings and tax cuts for the rich. I ain't saying you have to give, but everybody has got a right to live, and they're just looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary head. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. Something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative deserves a yes vote from us all. That's right. 3,000 units of affordable housing. That's a step in the right direction. Especially, that would be more housing than Santa Monica has, more affordable housing than Santa Monica has built in the last 20 years or more. And it would help our first responders have a place to live, teachers and healthcare workers, all the people that work on this promenade and all the people that work around Santa Monica. They say about 70,000 to 100,000 people a day come into Santa Monica, a lot of those people to work. And if you're really serious about the environment, then you don't want people to have to travel so far to get to their work. We need people to be able to live closer to their places of employment. And that's why you need to build some more affordable housing right here in Santa Monica. Plus the climate crisis. If you're serious about the climate crisis, we have to have more people living next to our Pacific Ocean because the air quality is going to be better and the temperature is going to be better. So if you are an environmentalist, you want to have more people living next to our Pacific Ocean. Because when we're talking about the environment, we're talking about the environment for human beings first. Right up top should be human beings before we make the environment good for all of our furry animals and our birds and whatnots. Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey, ain't got no running up. I got some shoes on my feet so I can run down the street. Don't need no funny clothes. I got diamond in my hair. I got a life without fear. I got mama gonna die. Ain't got no hurries, ain't got no worries, ain't got no blurry eyes. I got the sun on my face. I got some wide open space. Don't need no alibis. I got diamond in my hair. I got a life without fear. I got mama gonna die. Ain't got no seasons, don't have no reason to need no freezing rain. I got the surf and the shake where I can roll one man band. Don't ride no gravy train. I got diamond in my hair. I got a life without fear. I got that mama gonna ain't got no money, ain't got no hurry, ain't got no runny nose. I got some shoes on my feet so I can run down the street. Don't need no funny clothes. I got diamond in my hair. I got a life without fear. I got Juliet mama, Juliet mama, Juliet mama. Right, oh, yeah, yeah. And if you are a California voter, you can get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. It's going to be on the ballot this fall. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 on the ballot this fall here in California. That's right. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 on the ballot this fall. That's right. We don't have to wait for Trump to be out of office to raise taxes on the rich. We can get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California and have a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires of California. Make sure that they pay their fair share so that we have more money for health care for the poor, education for the poor, and also food programs. That's what they've planned at this point. And I think it's a great step in the right direction. And we need to tell everybody running for governor to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 on the ballot this fall. We got to raise taxes on the billionaires, and we don't have to wait for Trump to be out of office to do it, because we can do it right here in California. So get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 on the ballot this fall in California. That's right. We need to move forward because we're criminalizing poverty and homelessness here in California. We have the most homeless people of any state in the whole country, and we have the most billionaires of any state in the whole country. It's a no-brainer to raise taxes on the billionaires to help lift up the poor, help lift those people living in poverty, help lift them up, and show that progressive government can make a difference in people's lives. Aren't you sick of it? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of me talking about it all. But you know what? Until we make a difference in people's lives, I got to keep talking about this shit until something changes or until I'm out of here. One of the two, because I can't stand by and watch people being criminalized for being poor and not having a place to live. It sickens me. I hope it sickens you as well. But too many people are just fine with it. Too many of the rich people are saying, the rich people are doing fine. We don't care about the poor. Too many of the rich people are saying, Rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny. See that little box over there? Right over there in the corner over there. See that little box on wheels, that little cocoa box? Tonight, they're going to take that little cocoa box to some nice little warehouse, and they're going to make sure the little cocoa robot it's all cleaned up, and all of its circuits are working fine, and that it can run very well, and it's going to be in a nice room temperature place, and make sure that it's able to go to work tomorrow, while human beings are sleeping in the streets. And what's even worse, human beings are being criminalized for sleeping in the streets. While we take care of little Coco Robot and all of his robot friends and all of artificial intelligence, and more jobs are going to them. While human beings are sleeping in the streets and human beings are being criminalized for sleeping in the streets, we got the rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on our rich people and rich people's toys. On the rich people and rich people's toys. That's right, all over this country. We have warehouses filled with little robots and little artificial intelligentsia, little computers, cute little computers. They're all being taken care of. They're all having their circuits checked and make sure they're all dusted off so they can work right, and tell the young kids that it's good for them to kill themselves if they want. We got little artificial intelligence telling people all sorts of terrible things about human beings. We need to stand up for human rights. As more and more of these jobs go to artificial intelligence and robots, we need to make sure that human beings can survive. We're taking very good care of rich people's toys. We have to take better care of human beings. That's right, my friend. Good to see you. Peace. Have a good one. We got the rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people, rich people's toys. On the rich people and rich people's toys. On the rich people and rich people's toys. That's right. We're doing a fine job of taking care of the rich people and the rich people's toys. It's the poor human beings that have to suffer, the ones living in the streets, the ones trying to survive during this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis right here in California, right here in Santa Monica, right here in the whole USA. But You know, California, we can do something about it. We can show that progressive government can make a difference in people's lives. I sure hope that those governors, those people running for governor, that they step up a little bit and stand up for human rights a little more. I sure hope we get two Democrats running against each other so they have to keep moving in the direction of lifting people out of poverty and helping the poor and the homeless and spending more money on education instead of moving to the center and saying, oh, we want to be more like Republicans. We want to be more like conservatives. That's what we want to be like Newsom. Like Newsom, who sided with Trump's ultra-conservative Supreme Court in Grants Pass versus Johnson. He signed a friend of the court briefing. He said, please help me to criminalize homelessness so I can clean up the streets of California. They gave me $24 billion to build affordable housing, but I couldn't build much. I didn't do a very good job. So let me criminalize homelessness so I can move the poor people down the road. And then he actually said, after he criminalized homelessness here in California, Newsom said, well, we have reduced the unsheltered homeless population by 9%. Yeah, you sent them all to jail or prison. That's right, because you criminalized homelessness. You went along with Trump's ultra-conservative Supreme Court. And we need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica and stop criminalizing homelessness and start building affordable housing, making sure that we are lifting people out of poverty and not sending more people into poverty, not making it harder and harder for people to live. Because they ain't going to be able to pay the rents in Santa Monica if they're poor and if they're working a minimum wage job. Ain't going to happen. Not a way in the world, buddy. You better move out into a dirt shack in the desert because that's right. That's what a lot of people say. Well, let them move out of town. I had a woman tell me just today, well, poor people don't need to be moving to Santa Monica. This is a rich people's place. She didn't say it in those words, but yeah. She said, well, we don't need to build affordable housing in Santa Monica. I was telling her about the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative and how we want to build 3,000 units of affordable housing on 44 acres of land. How often are you going to get 192 acres of land given to your city? Come on. You need to use some of that for affordable housing. I can't imagine these people are in their right mind when they criminalize homelessness, when they don't want to use any of this Santa Monica Airport property to build affordable housing. Where do they think they live? This is supposed to be the United States of America, where we are standing up for human rights, where we're trying to make sure that everybody can have justice, that we're not just trying to make justice for the rich and the powerful, but for everybody in this country. And we need to stand up for the rights of the poor. Because if you're criminalizing poverty, you're heading in the wrong direction, Santa Monica. And we need to stand up and tell these leaders. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all right here in Santa Monica. You have to be a registered voter here in Santa Monica to vote on this. That's right. That's why we need to have more affordable housing here in Santa Monica, because there are way too many people that work and spend most of their time here in Santa Monica that don't have a voice in the democracy of Santa Monica. This is kind of an oligarchy, you know what I mean? It's the rich people and the homeowners running the whole city. That's basically it. That's why we've criminalized homelessness. But if you are homeless in Santa Monica, I do suggest that you take up address at the People Concerned or some other place that lets homeless people establish their residency here in Santa Monica. I established my residency here in Santa Monica in 2021 when I was living in my car. That's right. Homeless people deserve a right to vote in this country, in this city, in this state. And so if you are a homeless person here in Santa Monica, you need to establish your residency. And then when you've been here long enough, you can vote in the city elections. And we need more poor people to get involved in the city elections here in Santa Monica because way too many rich people are running everything. That's why they're criminalizing homelessness here in Santa Monica. And that's why we need the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative to pass. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative in Santa Monica should get a yes vote from us all in Santa Monica. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something poor folks can't do without. You know, I just wrote this song not too long ago because I just started helping gather signatures. If you are a voter here in Santa Monica, please sign the petition for the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. And if you are a California voter, we can all get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. That's a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires in California. It's going to be on the ballot this fall. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Oh, yes, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. That's a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires here in California. And that's a step in the right direction, let me tell you. So we all need to get behind that. We need to step up and stand up for human rights, that's right. We don't need to criminalize poverty and homelessness. We need to stand up for human rights. Love is just a song we sing and fear the way we die. We can make the mountains rain or make the angels cry. No, the bird is on the wing, and we don't know why. Come on, people, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try one another right now. Some may come and some may go, but we shall surely pass. When the one who left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, then you will understand. key to love and fear in our trembling hands. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at our command. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Right now. Right now. That's right. I'm just talking about spreading the peace and love around a little better. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. Every week we're breaking records on Wall Street. Fewer and fewer people own more and more of this country. We need to stand up for the rights of those human beings that have been left behind, that have been pushed out. We need to stand up for the rights of those who are just looking for a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. That ain't too much to ask in the richest, most powerful country in the world. You know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in 1944, he said, "It is time for a second Bill of Rights, where every American has the right to a decent place to live. Every American has the right to a job that pays a living wage. Every American has the right to health care. And every American has the right to a good education." And of course, he was talking about public education. This was in 1944 he gave that speech. We still haven't achieved those goals today. And they did some great things to move us forward in that time. They put programs together. They showed that government can make a difference in people's lives, can help lift people out of poverty. They put together a program in 1935 called Social Security that helped. It gave a safety net to people when they got to be a certain age and helped them through the rest of their lives. It also helped people, a lot of people with disabilities. Other great programs have been put in place throughout the history of this country to help people thrive and survive. And we have to keep moving forward because we haven't gotten to a place where everybody can have the basics yet. If we have such a large number of homeless human beings, we ain't got there yet, did we? We'll come through. We'll come through. A better day is on its way for me and you. And we'll come through. We'll come through. We'll come through. Any day, skies of gray will turn blue. we'll come through. I know times are bad, and I know people are suffering, and so many loved ones are sad, but we'll come through. That's right, Joey, we're gonna come through. We'll come through. We'll come through. Oh, yes, we will. What's happening, Joey?
What's up? I'm just plugging in real quick.
Wonderful. I'd love to hear you play a little bit on that.
All right.
Let's just, it's in the key G. Keep it
Calling
great.
on your Avast device. Avast device, auxiliary mode.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the robot singing. I don't want to hear the robot talking. Hey, so I after I saw you today, well, we'll let you say hi to the people in a minute.
Sure.
But after I saw you today, I ran into Dan Hall, one of the city council members, and I told him that you were put in the Samo Bridge. Now they found you you were sleeping on a park bench on the Palisades. It's Palisade Park here.
You're right by the cinema here. Yeah.
By the cliff here, right?
Yeah,
The park.
that's correct.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct. Yep.
All right. Now, did they say, would you like a place to stay? Or what did they say? Did they say, you have to come with us?
No, actually, they didn't even take me into their car. They said, you prefer your place to Samo Bridge. So they did. I went over to Samo Bridge, which is right by Santa Monica.
So
City
there was no threat. Okay, you can
No
tell
threat at all.
you can tell the people about. I may have overstated. Maybe you weren't threatened with arrests. Okay, but I know they are arresting people for all sorts of things here in Santa Monica that are less than. They are minor infractions. Smoking on the sidewalks, my friend. Loitering in the parking structure over here when he was trying to keep warm and there were no cars in the place. It was early. These parking structures here in Santa Monica are mostly deserted at night. And they used to have some programs where they let people sleep on the upper levels of the parking structure, especially in cold weather, to make sure that they could have a safe place to sleep. And they discontinued that for whatever reason. But you can come over and tell your story.
Sure. All right. Let's make that happen.
You turn down just a little bit. Yeah, you can turn it down just a little bit if you're gonna play with me because I can't. All right, come over here and tell the people. Let's get on.
All right. Oh, on your left or on your right?
Go over here.
Okay.
This is Joey.
I'm Joe.
Joe.
How's it go? Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. Go tell them. So tell them what happened.
So, about a few weeks ago, I was out sleeping right by the benches near, the Palisades, near right by the Santa Monica Pier, and I looked a little more visible than the most nights that I was there, and I had a white tarp over my head, so the cops were able to see me. It was 5:30 in the morning when they woke me up. There was a flashlight. I removed the tarp. Two police officers, caught me sleeping at the bench, and so pretty much, since I'm new here, I been here since March 30th. That was when I moved here, came homeless here and what have you. So since I don't look like a homeless guy. They told me, well, pretty much, it told me, we're not going to charge you, we're not going to arrest you. However, if in future reference, sleeping in a place like that is count as a misdemeanor. So I did not get ticketed. I did not get arrested. Did not get charged.
This misdemeanor to sleep on.
Yes.
It is a misdemeanor to sleep on a park, and if
Correct.
If they found him there again,
That's right.
if they found him there again, they would do something, give him a citation or arrest him. So anyway, you were taken to Samo Bridge, which is some trailers. They have trailers.
Yep, trailers.
Right?
Yeah, trailers.
There's trailers over by the Civic Center parking lot, in the Civic Center parking lot, and they can hold homeless people there for 3 days and figure out what they're going to do with them.
Yep.
So they kept you there for one night?
Just one night. Yeah. And well, let's switch the camera around for a sec. Oh, they found me for after just one day of staying there, and the unfortunate truth kind of sprawled from there. I got hooked on. Got assigned, not hooked onto, but I got assigned a case manager who, well, two things. Very sketchy, sort of a looking person. Looks like
looks
Anyway,
but what?
oh,
But
I
she
mean,
was talking fast.
she was talking pretty fast.
Like she
So
was on,
as she was on something, it's like
okay.
I didn't mind the tattoos on her face and whatever, what have you, but kind of just how she assessed the information, talking incredibly fast, like she's on something, and also sort of as she was filling out paperwork, kind of cooking up stories, which I had to end up clarifying. Like, I don't have this, I don't have that. What is The first question she asked me was this your first time getting arrested? When I was not at all arrested, at all, and I have no criminal record, no problems with any substance abuse. Never had. I don't do drugs. Period. And so she basically dumped me into a recovery home in South Central, which is
A recovery home?
a recovery home.
Oh, it wasn't just a shelter. It was a recovery home.
Yeah, it was housing is what she excused it as, and far from fair accommodations, lack of transparency
What were the
between
accommodations like? Did you have your own room or a cubicle?
No, it was a bunk bed that I had to share. It was a cramped house with over about 40 people, and these guys you don't want to be around. They're actual convicts. A lot of them are there as an alternative to jail. And if you know the website Megan's Law, where you look up a list of registered sex offenders in your area, well, that was like 80% of their clientele in that house. And nobody that you don't want to associate yourself with at all. And I spent 2 weeks there. I did everything I could just to,
and now you're best friends with these people?
oh God, whoo boy. But anyways, yeah, that was a horrible experience.
Uh-huh. And you got through. You weren't. Were you threatened or anything?
See that's where the story kind of. I was not threatened. However, the place was very poorly managed. I stated grievances multiple times. None of them at all were even accommodated. There was a volunteer at the People's Concern that I constantly talk to, and she is just working day and night, to get me sheltered into OPCC, the People's Concern, over in Cloverfield here in Santa Monica. Great, incredible place, and so basically, she even had to call up this recovery home and say, this guy's not on drugs, he's not in recovery. And there was a 3-month blackout where you don't work, and 30 days, no ins and outs. And I was not okay with it, since I am working. though I'm homeless, self-employed, employed, whatever, what have you, and that was an absolute no-no. And so she called up, the recovery home. And the recovery home said, "Oh, okay, cool. We'll talk to them." They never did. And so, I also reported that I was being bullied just constantly, incessantly. Did not accommodate to that. They did not care. And it got to a point where there was some people going around in people's rooms stealing things, and some of my belongings got stolen. And that was about 2 weeks in. I reached that boiling point, and so I stated that grievance too. I said, things were getting stolen. When are you guys going to look into these things? And I remember that morning, the morning I left, they said, "Okay, we're going to look into it. We're meeting with, the head of the house, whatever, what have you." And they pretty much lied to our faces, all of our faces, because when I came up to them and just kind of gave him an update, "Hey, my stuff got stolen as well. Can you look into it on top of everything else?" And basically they said, "Oh, things get stolen left and right. It just happens." Simply put, they don't care.
You just got to live with having your stuff stolen because you're poor.
Right.
That's right.
So I went out the door.
You were never told about any shelter beds or any shelters in Santa Monica, right?
No.
They don't have any, right?
No, well, they told me that they're at capacity, 2 to 6 month waiting lists. However, last week there
2
was
to 6 months if you want to wait for a shelter bed in Santa Monica.
Right,
That's just a shelter bed. Forget any housing.
Right. And what was it? Last week, however, there was an opening, like a small window. That advocate at People Concerned, who I've been talking to, we just raced for it, but the bed got easily booked. We missed it by a hair. So
Well, I hope some housing comes to you, and I hope you can get some sleep somewhere, safe sleep.
and it's been getting colder every morning.
Is that pretty much the story that you want to tell? Is that basically? Now he's here. Joe's here. He's going to get his permit to play on the promenade, and he's from. Where are you from? You went to Berkeley School of Music.
Yep. So I moved here from Las Vegas after living there for 3 years.
You're from the Bay Area, aren't you?
But originally from the Bay Area, yeah.
You're from the Bay Area, like me. I went to school for
Nice.
for a few years. I was in the San Francisco Boys Course when I was a little brat.
Yep.
And you're from the East Bay, or?
Originally born and raised in Oakland, and I grew up in San Francisco. We were all over the Bay Area. Lived in Daly City, went to high school in Pacifica. Nurtured the whole career in cosplay over in San Jose, California. I was taking the Cal train, over there every weekend.
Pretty much write for movies and act. And
I am a screenwriter and actor.
Play music.
Yep. Well,
I've done a lot of those things too.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, I moved here because I have a screenwriting and acting career that I'm focused on, and that's what I want to do the rest of my life. So
that's another thing I talk about is that if you're going to be the entertainment capital of the world, the movie capital of the world, you're going to have to know that a lot of people are going to come here, and they're not all going to be movie stars, just like me. Well, I started a few movies, but they're not going to all be successful and rich. You're going to need to help them survive, because a lot of these actors that come to California full of stars in their eyes, pretty soon they're going to be old, and they're going to need help, and they're going to need a place to get by. So California's got to spend a lot more money on building affordable housing. That's what but we're going to come through.
A lot of actors and actresses, their humble beginnings. They came here, they were poor, but they had that dream in mind. Merely here for the same reason, really. Working my way up the ranks. I got projects coming in left and right. I'm already in some already, and
I hope you
keep on working.
And I hope you stay poor. That's what I hope. I want everybody to be able to get by, even if you are poor, and still be able to make music and enjoy life. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. Oh, we'll come through. We'll come through. Better day is on its way for me and you. And we'll come through. We'll come through. We'll come through. Sky will come through. I will come through. I know times are bad, and I know people are suffering, and so many loved ones are sad. We'll come through. We'll come through. Keep going. We'll come through. We'll come through. Better days is on its way for me and you. And we'll come through. I know times are tough, and I know those who are helping, we can't ever thank you enough, but we will come through. We'll come through. We'll come through. Oh, yes, we will.
Oh,
Powering on your off device.
no!
Off device is ready to pair.
The robots are taking over, folks. That's what happens.
Powering on your off device. Off device is ready to pair. Auxiliary mode.
Ha 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 ha.
It's been happening to me all day.
Now, are you using the Wi-Fi here in the city? The city Wi-Fi?
Oh, no, it's Wi-Fi off.
So you don't. So you just fall apart. It just falls
Yeah.
off.
It's actually the second time. This is the second time it does it. I was playing over here, and I was like about 5 songs in, and just after what was it? That PA speaker was playing "Time" by Pink Floyd. I was jamming along with it. After the song was over, I heard that. I was like, "Come on!" It's like, well, I'm not complaining. This was lent. Somebody lent this to me.
They lent you the speaker.
Actually, basically, she was moving back to Pennsylvania.
Wonderful.
She was playing here on the regular basis, and suddenly, I'm moving back to Pennsylvania because I met her at a Target, and I wanted to tell her how great of a guitarist she is. And yeah, I said, hey, I'm in need of an amp. I'm this, I'm that. I just have a guitar with me, and so she gave me the amp. Yeah.
Well, let's play one more before I start wrapping it up.
Will you cooperate?
Let's hope the robot cooperates there.
All right.
don't take it seriously. I thought there was a
Powering on your Avast device. Avast device is ready to pair.
Oh God!
What is it? Your phone that is pairing with?
You know what I think? It's two things. Maybe it's losing battery, though
Okay.
I charged the heck out of it.
Okay.
That or it probably just what do you call it? It kind of there's a short circuit.
Mhm.
It'll turn off and turn back on because that's the sound it makes when it turns on.
Okay.
So
You want to try one more? Are you?
Yeah.
Is it on?
I turned it off. I'm going to turn it back on. Let's hope and pray.
Powering on your Avast device. Avast device is ready to pair. Your Avast device is now connected.
Okay. So no further mishap.
Excuse me, but don't take it seriously. I thought there was a party going on. And there was dancing and singing and ringing. So you're out of power? Is that probably it?
No, that's see him.
There's always technical things when you're...
Powering on your Avast device.
There it goes.
Avast.
Yep, we're done. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Well, it was great playing with you for a little bit. You come by and we'll play some more.
All right.
And I hope things get easier for you and better.
All right.
Out here on the streets there. It's not easy, I know, and I hope you get your permit and I hope you can get some good sleep, man.
Yeah, I'm actually wherever I sleep. I was gonna then I saw you were live. I was like, oh, gonna go
Well,
play
thanks
football.
for sharing your story with us, and thanks for playing a little bit. I'm gonna just wrap it up, and
right.
great to see you, Joey. Joe or Joey?
Joe.
Joe.
J-O-E. Yeah.
Great to see you, Joe, and I hope to hear great things and that things get more peaceful. But I want you to keep an eye out for the other homeless human beings that,
You know what? Yeah.
because I need to keep talking to people about, and I want you to send me your whole story. Just speak it out on the text, and
I got you. Yeah.
and
I got it. Yeah.
and then I will send that on to Dan Hall because he doesn't think that the homeless people are having it that rough here. And anyway, we need to keep standing up.
Yep. This is for a creative like us. It is something that means a lot to us. This place and the atmosphere, the kind of the environment that we could thrive creatively. That is the most important to us. So that.
And speaking up for human rights, work matters a little bit too, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, we're out here, we're busking, we're doing all that, and at the same time,
You're going to be busking. I'm just out here standing up for human rights, and I do take donations and give them to the homeless while I'm here. But my days of busking are over because I'm old and I get Social Security.
Yep.
So that helps a little bit. And I have people I can stay with right now. And I'm on the list for Santa Monica Senior Low Income Housing. So I'll probably get a place to live in 2, 3, 5 years. You never know. So I got that going.
All right. All right.
Anyway, we got to keep enjoying it. Keep moving ahead. Keep working towards a better day, and don't give up. And you have a great night. Great to see you, Joe.
All righty. Have a good night.
Joe Magno.
Thank you, guys.
Joe Magno?
Yes, that's correct.
Magno or Magno?
Magno. Yeah. Yep. All righty.
Keep on getting up. Keep on speaking out. Keep on singing. Peace and love is what it's all about. And dream of a better day. Hopefully ain't there yet, but we're on our way. lifting up. Keep on, lend a helping hand. We can't solve every problem, but we can try to understand. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. That's right. We got to keep getting up, keep speaking out, keep telling people, get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. That show that government can help lift people out of poverty, and that government can raise taxes on the rich right here in California, and that we can help make a better day for those in need. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy.
Have a good night, Wade.
All right, Joe. Good to see you. Peace.
All righty.
And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Don't get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Someday we'll get there. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Don't get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. You know, someday we'll get there. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. That's right. Spread the peace and love.